Good morning everyone. Here is another repair for you guys. As we can see, this is Samsung Galaxy S21 5G model phone and the screen is cracked, so I decided to replace it and let's record it. So if you do have same scenario, if you would like to replace your one, you can just get some tips from here. As always, I like to replace with original part. I don't like copy part, especially for Samsung screen replacement. Yes, if you use iPhone, you can use the copy one because the copy and original, it doesn't make that much difference compared to the price for iPhone. But for Samsung, the quality is way different than the original and copy. So first of all, you should have some tools. As you can see, the flat opening tool, paper clip, Phillips screwdriver. And here is my LCD separator machine. So this is a kind of hot plate. So switch it off, leave it in there to make it hot, to make that adhesive softer. Or if you don't have any, don't worry, you can use any ordinary hair dryer like that. So my hair dryer about 2200 watt, and it took about 5 to 10 minutes to blow the hair until it get proper hot, and easily I was able to pull the back cover out. Okay, so if you are in hot country, be careful, check the safety measures first before you use any hair dryer, because if the hair dryer is too cheap and if you use for so long, that could blow. All right, so that is a kind of potential hazard. Once it's hot enough, then you can open it with ice-isma, put a kind of playing card or plastic card like that, and run through the side, the border, and especially right next to the camera lens. You have to be very careful because this is a bit tricky. Okay, make sure you don't use any metal part, otherwise you're going to damage the lens. Okay, so I always prefer to use the plastic card instead of any metal part. After we open the back cover, we're going to take out the mid frame NFC part, and then we'll disconnect all the flex connector from the motherboard and remove some screws from the motherboard and pull those out. Okay, so not try to touch this camera lens, because if you do, you're gonna make it blurry and the camera wouldn't be fixed, and it's very difficult to clean any fingerprint. So let's remove all the screws. Remember, Samsung always does use same sizes of screws, so you can put it together without arranging. It should be fine. Once you remove all the screw, gently we have to pull this top NFC panel out. Okay, and then we have to disconnect the battery first before we disconnect anything else. Sometimes, as you can see, I use different types of screwdriver to remove same sort of screw. The reason is some screws health are really poor. If you use some sort of screwdriver, that could make it crack easily. Okay, so in that point you need to use all different types, all different sizes of screwdrivers sometimes. Now gently you can disconnect all the flex connector from the main board and the secondary board. I always use my fingertips. If you would like, you can use flat plastic tool. This is the speaker panel. Now we're going to remove 3 screws from the charging board. Okay, and remember this model, the SIM tray right underneath the charging board. So make sure you take the SIM tray out before you get to that point. It's very easy to forget. And if you don't take out the SIM tray, if you pull the board out, you can damage the board. There is no doubt. Okay, so to take out this main board, this is a kind of challenging because there are a couple of screws right next to the camera lens. Okay, and if you don't remove those screws, if you pull the board out, you're going to damage it. So it took about a couple of minutes to take the board out gently. And the front speaker, that is secure with some sort of glue or adhesive. So once you pull out the board, or before you pull out the board, you are good to take out this actual ear speaker. Now I'm going to give it a look to check what does comes with the original part, because Samsung Galaxy S series original display always comes with many components. Example, the vibrator, the phone speaker, sometimes they do the ear speaker as well, power button, volume button, and sometimes also does comes with some sort of charging port. So this model, I can see the actual vibrator and volume button, power buttons are included. All right, so I'm going to take out the front speaker, which is secured with glue, as I said. That is a challenging part as well, because you have to have sharp edged tweezer and gently you have to cut the glue to pull this out. All right, so here is the most challenging part for this replacement. As you can see, the battery, okay, not only this model, any Samsung Galaxy S series or almost any Android phone, the way they attach the battery, I mean the adhesive underneath, super strong. It's a kind of challenging to pull this out. I know many people use kind of flat opening tool like that. They squeeze the battery out and the battery original shape does get changes. Sometimes that could explode as well, because don't forget, this is strong and powerful lithium-ion battery. If you abuse it, that could be a big explosive. Okay, so be careful. So what I apply is, to take out the battery, I use some sort of PCB cleaner. As you can see how easily I taken this out. How? I just pulled it off a little bit, and then underneath I spray 99.99% rubbing alcohol. So when you spray rubbing alcohol, this alcohol make the adhesive softer. So if you leave it for a couple of minutes, and if you use any plastic pry tool, you can easily take out the battery without damaging the shape. Now I can see there are some sort of bubble produced. I'm just making it flat to get back to the original shape. So that's pretty much everything from the old one. There is nothing else to remove. I just double checked. Now I'm going to put all the component back to the new housing. So first thing, don't forget to remove any sort of plastic film or foil paper, and then motherboard goes first, then the battery, then all the flex cable, then the NFC, all screws back, and then some sort of adhesive or double-sided tape to put back the back cover. Also, before we put the back cover on, we must need to give it a try to check if the part is working properly or not. Otherwise, no points, you know. So this is a kind of called test period. So test it before you put the back cover on. And remember, you have to be very careful with every single flex connector. What happened is, with that repair, when I done everything and put the charger on, I found the phone is restarting by itself. So it shows the logo, switch off, switch back on, switch off, switch back on. In that way it was going on for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then I realized definitely something wrong that I done. What it was? It was the battery connector. So when I click to connect the battery, I did not click it properly, so the connector was not attached to the main board. And that's the reason when I connect the charger, the phone was not finding any battery source. So he was trying to boot up, but because of there was not enough power through the charger directly, it was not turning on properly. So that is just an example. Alright, so finally the repair has done. I added some sort of sellotape to put the back cover into the place so the adhesive doesn't release the back cover out. Okay, by the way, if you do repair in that way, it's not going to be any more waterproof, so bear in mind. Okay, once you taken out the back cover, the actual seal which one protect from the water or any kind of liquid damage, that would not be any more secure. Alright, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you do have any question, make sure you leave it in the comment section, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.